Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV, the only place to be on match day. And what a match day it is today. It is the Super Cup where Spurs will face PSG. Can't say I'm particularly excited, but I've got a fantastic panel and we are going to aim to pump you up. Although if I go with my head tonight, we might be pumping down a little tiny bit. But I'm joined as always by Jimbo, Harry Scarf, and Queen Ellie. Jimbo, first of all, how are you and how are you feeling about the match tonight?
No pumping down, woman. Only pumping up. I'm good, thank you, and I'm excited.
Good, good. Harry, good to have you back on the channel. How are you doing, my lovely? How are you feeling?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Looking forward to getting into it. It's going to be tough, but you just never know in 90 minutes.
Exactly. One-off game. Anything can happen. And Queen Ellie, how are you?
Hello.
And how are you feeling?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can.
Yay.
We can hear you.
Oh
And
my God,
and the
technical
picture's much
problems.
better.
Yeah, I'm really pumped up. I'm really looking forward to being on the show with you, lovely people. And I hope we get the win because that cup looks beautiful. And it'll go nice next to the other one, Jimbo.
It will do on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be quite embarrassing if we win this one because, we won the one the other day in Hong Kong. Then we won the Europa League. It's becoming a bit of a habit, But anyway, we've got to get there first. Before we go on to the game, I've just got to quickly talk about the announcement that came out of Spurs today. I think we all expected it, that Christian Romero is going to be the captain for the up-and-coming season. Jimbo, what's your thoughts? Was there really any other choice?
No, I said earlier on our show, Kate, he's the only one for me. And I like the way that he speaks out and speaks his mind. He's not a yes man, is he? He's got something to say, says it. And I think a captain needs to be like that. I mean, he's got to be a little bit careful. But he's a strong character, and that's what you need in the changing room. He's a strong character on the pitch and off the pitch. And Romero is that. So for me, it's the right choice.
Yeah. I mean, Harry, what's your view? Do you think this is an indication that he might be signing another contract and that's why Thomas Frank has chosen him as captain?
I think so, and I hope, hopefully that is the case. I hope you're right. I mean, we're talking about a player here who was expected to leave Tottenham not that long ago. So to be able to keep him, to make him captain, hopefully get that long-term contract come soon as well, would be fantastic. So yeah, as you say, Kate, yourself, the decision we all expected. I think it's probably the right decision as well. I think since Romero, in my opinion anyway, has been given that vice-captain's role under Ange, I think it's been a lot more mature, responsible, more disciplined on the pitch. So that's fantastic to see. So I think what we expected, but I think this is very exciting going into a new era.
Yeah, look, I agree. Ellie, what's your thoughts on QE being the captain?
Yeah, well, he's going to be the best looking captain in the Premiership as well. Yeah, I'm just so excited because I thought he was leaving. All the newspaper talk, everything that he's going to Atletico, and we've got him for another year. And he's got a lot to prove this year because he didn't have a particularly good season last season, but he did turn up in the Europa final. He was our man of the match, I say. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. and be more disciplined, like Harry says, and hold the team strong, like a Roy Keane sort of captain, strong but fair. And let's get into it. Yeah, come on, Romero. Yeah.
I do wonder if there could be someone incoming. The fact that Thomas Frank isn't announcing the rest of the leadership team. Maybe he's waiting for Polina to settle in. Maybe there might be someone coming in like an Eze who he might want to put in there. Who knows? We can but hope and pray. But we can only go with what we've got tonight. Obviously, we've lost our creative midfielder. Madison's out. Kulu's out. Harry, are you concerned about where the goals are going to come from tonight?
I definitely am. I think that creativity is a big problem. Of course, bring Kudus to the club solves that problem to an extent in terms of Kudus make sure we're very good at transitions. I mean, how often, as I've been on here or spoke to you, Kate, about us being open transitions under Ange last season, we're now being able to exploit transitions because of players like Kudus, very quick on the turn, always unpredictable. You can see that. I think already he's ready for this kind of these kind of games, this kind of international stage. Well, you see that, Bayern doubling up on him, for example, and we've seen that Arsenal doubling up on him, and that tells you all you need to know. So I am concerned where the creativity is going to come from. I think Bergvall, for me anyway, has to start tonight. I like Frank, but I think he got the selection wrong against Bayern in the midfield three anyway. I think it just didn't quite sit right having Bentancur and Paulini together. So having Bergvall in there, I hope will be more creativity. I hope Kudus can get more involved. So I'm concerned, but I think we'll find pockets of creativity, hopefully, and work with what we've got.
Yeah, I mean, Ellie, would you start Sarr as the 10 or Bergvall as the 10 tonight?
I would start Bergvall purely because he's more skillful on the ball. He gives us more in that final third. Okay, he's still young, he's still learning the game, but this is the time to step up in a big game, and he's got the kahunas, hasn't he? He really has. He doesn't shy away from a tackle. He gets stuck in. He just has to improve his passing a little bit more. Yeah, and then I just think he's a little bit more creative than Sarr. Sarr's more of a runner. But later on in the game, when we need legs, I think we're going to see Sarr come on. Yeah, but the thing is, does he drop him? Because he's been very good in pre-season. And he does deserve to start. But I think for this game, Bergvall's our better bet.
Yeah. Jimmy, you agreed? I mean, I think Bergvall should start in the 10. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Bergvall as well. Yeah, I think that he should start. And I think Eddie's right. Later on in the game, get Sarr in because he's got the legs. It's going to be a tough game, but I'm confident we can win.
Well, that makes a change, Jimbo, for you to be confident that we can win. You never say we're ever going to do anything other than win. Obviously, we know how brilliant PSG are. I've been bigging them up all of last season. I think they're incredible to watch. I think they're extremely difficult to play against. Harry, it's going to be a game where we can't start slow. We have got to be on it from second one because personally, I see him scoring in the first 5 minutes. I've just got to put that out there. But how do we do it? Is it counter-attacking football, you think, for tonight?
It's really difficult. I mean, Frank will be the one with a game plan. The only thing that gives me a little bit of hope is the fact that PSG haven't had a proper pre-season. They've had a Club World Cup instead. So it's been over a month since they played their last competitive game. And also they're missing players, Joao Neves, Donnarumma for various different reasons. So that gives you a little bit more hope. But let's be clear, they're top side, probably the best in the world in my opinion right now, so it makes it really tough. As you say, the start is really important, so it might be a case of you approach it quite conservative, a bit more defensive at the start, and then you kind of get through. They always say don't use an away team, get through that first kind of 20 minutes, half an hour, and build from there. I think that might be a case in this game. We want to be getting to that second half and being in the game. We don't want a situation where we're not in the game, we get to half time, we're 2-0 down. That's not what we want. We want to be in the game at all times. So the start is crucially important. I think it's a very good point you raise. So I think we have to be careful with the way we start, more defensively minded.
Yeah, Ellie, do you see the same sort of thing? Do you see Frank playing as quite defensive and trying to catch him on the break? And if so, who's going to be sort of a key part in that, do you think?
Yeah, I just think if we go toe-to-toe with them, we're going to get slaughtered because they're more technical. They're a better team. They move the ball better. So we have to, I think if we play like we did against Man City, soak up a little bit of pressure the first 20 minutes, get through that and then do the counter-attack, I think we've got a very good chance because we've got Johnson again, ole, haven't we? Come on, let's get behind him. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Jimbo, for me, if we're going to play that style of football where we defend and try and get him on the break, Porro is going to be absolutely vital tonight because he's balls in and he's running down the wing. I mean, what about you? How do you see us playing?
Well, they've got to see that we're not scared. You know, you can't just sit back against them. You've got to try and let them know we're not scared. You know, and Chelsea, the way Chelsea done it was fantastic. You know, they really went at them, but we can still go at them and still be defensively solid. You know, I got so much faith in Frank. I've watched his tactics over last season, and since we've got him, looked at some of his games, and the guy's a smart guy around the football team, and to who you're playing, and he seemed very confident in his press conference. So I've got faith that he'll set us up how we need to be set up. We can't go on there like we're scared, Kate, and just sit back and defend because we'll never beat them. Can't do that.
The thing is, Chelsea's game plan was perfect, but you've got to remember they've got Cole Palmer and the likes of a lot higher caliber of midfielder than we've got at the minute. So that's what concerns me the most.
If our players step up, right, and don't show they're scared and get stuck in, we give them what they deserve, a good beating.
Yeah. Jason Green says his son's just shouted from his room, Spurs are going to win this. He chose his team today for the first time and he's so proud he chose Tottenham. I gave him the freedom to choose whichever he wanted. God bless him. Bless his heart. He'll be grey-haired by the time he's 21, the poor little soul. My son didn't have a choice. He was just Tottenham from the day he was born and that was it. Solanke has been sort of classed as fit. Do you fancy him to start, Harry? I mean, me personally, I don't think I'd start him, but Frank has said that he's ready. How do you think they set up at the front?
Yeah, it's a good question. I personally think he'd be on the bench, and I, no disrespect, but hope that is the case. Whether we think Solanke should be the starting striker going into next season or not is a whole separate thing. One thing that is critically important is that we don't start him when he gets injured. I think it's really important, and just seeing what happened to Maddison, I just don't want to be taking unnecessary risks. As much as I want to win this game, you know, it's not worth Solanke coming in, getting injured and being out for a few more months. We don't need that. Some of the comments think otherwise, thinking Solanke should start. Of course, ideally Solanke does start, and only Frank and the medical team will know his kind of physical state. If they're like 100% he's fine, he can play 60 or whatever, 70 minutes, absolutely fine. But if it's a case of, he's good, he's still recovering, then I just don't want to take that risk of going into the start of the new season. So I'd personally have him as a substitute.
Yeah, Ellie, you're nodding. Do you agree? Because obviously we're playing tonight and then we've only got 3 days and we're back playing against Burnley in the Premier League.
Yeah, because, the muscles, right, they're not right when you haven't played a competitive match. And what you saw it with Maddison, one little run, and he's lifted his leg and he's done his cruciate knee. We don't want that to happen to Solanke. So I think maybe the last 20 minutes, give him a little run out, maybe half hour, because it's hard when you haven't played for that long, guys, right, to get back into the groove. So I don't think we should risk him because we need him for the Premiership. That's a lot more important in two respects, because we've got to finish and make ourselves credible again up high, right? And also we need him because we've got no other striker really. When you look at it, we've got no other striker. They say Tell's a striker, but I don't think so. No, I think he's more of a left winger. So there's nobody really who's going to get the goals apart from Johnson with his tap-ins. And I just don't want to risk him. I'm with Harry on that one.
Yeah. Well, the team is out. We've got Vicario in goal as expected. Then we've got Pedro Porro, Romero, Danso starts with Van de Ven on the left. Bentancur, Palhinha and Kudus, Sarr, Spence, Richarlison. So Solanke is where we expected, and he is on the bench along with Kinski, Austin, Davis, Vuskovic, Byfield, Gray, Bergvall, Odebert, Tell, Johnson, and obviously, like I say, Solanke. So, Jim, what's your first thoughts looking at that team?
I like it. You never know. Who would have thought that he was going to put Porro? I mean, Romero, Danso, and Van de Ven in. And it doesn't surprise me with this guy. Yeah, I like it, Kate. Looks a solid team.
Looks
solid.
defensive to me. It looks defensive.
Yeah, it is. But also attacking as well with Kudus, Spence and Richarlison. So, yeah, you've got to be a bit defensive, haven't you? You can't just be gung-ho. But what I was saying earlier is you can still be solidly defensive and still attack them. You know, you can still do that. But if we just sit back against these guys, we are going to lose. You know, you've got to give them something to think about. And I think that team, when it's out on the pitch, will give them something to think about.
I mean, someone's saying a 5-4-1, someone's saying 3 at the back. I mean, Harry, what formation do you think he's playing with this team?
Great question. And the beauty of Thomas Frank is he's very hard to predict. He loves to change the formation, even in game. So I think it's very difficult. I think it'll be, I'm going to be quite generic here and just kind of say, I think when we've got the ball, it will be a 3. And when we haven't got the ball, it will be a 5. That was what would make sense to me. Just briefly looking right now at this team, I'm thinking it's probably going to be a 3-5. 3-5-2, I think. But it's hard to say at this time, but it purely depends. I think Jimbo makes a very good point, though, in terms of, as mother, I think we should start that kind of constructive and build into the game. If we just sit back, then PSG is just simply too good. You know, even with our defence, we won't be able to sustain for 90 minutes. So even if we are defending, we have to get out. It can't be, constant kind of pressure. We're going to have to get out. And that's what does excite me with Kudus. I want to see him, if we do play counter-attacking football, can he exploit those transitions? Because his pace is electric. His skills are different level. So I do have a little bit more hope with seeing this team, this hopeful formation, that we can actually get something from the game.
Yeah, big up first of all to Moondog, who has said we will win 2-1 tonight, no problem. That's the spirit. I like to see that. Ellie, what are your thoughts on our team tonight and the formation?
Seems very, very defensive.
Yeah.
I can understand it because there's a bit of fear there, isn't there, that we're going to get battered. So I think he's starting off for the first half. If we can see it through, I think I would have liked to have seen Johnson, even though I don't rate him as a footballer, he'll get on the end of things. And like if we're pinning crosses, Porro's very good at that. So is Spence. Spence is brilliant at joining the attack. And Kudus, he's Kudus, isn't he? He's fantastic. Yeah. Since he's come to our club, he's a breath of fresh air, isn't he? And you know what? They gave him a lot of respect by Munich, doubling up on even 3 players on him at one time. So I hope that he gets a little bit more joy and a bit more freedom of the pitch. I'd like to see him cut inside as well, because he's fantastic at that. And let's see, if we nick a goal early as well, on the counter, we can put them under pressure and then we hold solid, and then we can change it up in the second half and go more attacking.
Yeah. I mean, it's completely different to what I thought. I thought Odegaard start was... it's a lot more defensive, which kind of, in a way, makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. But at the same time, I look at that and I do worry where the creativity is coming from. I do. I don't. Kudus, I don't really see where else creativity is coming from. I mean, if anyone can enlighten me where they think it's going to be coming from, I'd be appreciative of it. Who?
Spence, he gets some crosses in there. Don't worry about that.
He's very good on the overlap. He's got really good vision, Spence. And Porro, he can pin a ball. He can pin a ball, Porro. And if he joins the attack with Kudus, comes in the middle with Kudus, gets some crosses across. That's why I would have liked Johnson to be there, because Richarlison, let's face it, he's not brilliant at getting the ball in the net, is he? So, whereas Johnson is. The thing is, I think he's gone with Richie because he's better at pressing. And, we need to do a high press as well, put them under pressure as well.
Yeah, so do you think maybe the game plan, Harry, might be to sort of soak up all this pressure in the first half, and then any odd breaks that we get, just try and get them on the counter and maybe change it up in the second half? I mean, how do you see this going?
Yeah, I see us like I'd want us to do. I think is maybe similar to how we will actually approach this in this team, in terms of get through that first phase of the game and see how we go. Thomas Frank, he's not a manager that believes in constantly sitting back. So without any shadow of doubt, we'll be trying to counterattack. Whether he can be successful or not and break through kind of defense, if you like, and break away, I suppose, is remains to be unseen. It's unclear at this moment, but I'm sure it'd be more defensive to start with, but we're build into the game. And let's say, hopefully not, God forbid, but PSG get that first goal, then you only see Spurs, I think, open up more and more, pushing for the equaliser. So I don't worry about us like not having a shot or anything like that. It's a case of can we create a clear-cut opportunity. PSG, if you had to pick a fault in their team, which is really difficult to do, by the way, it would have to be defensively in terms of an aging back line. Need a little bit of investment, hence the heavy investment in that position in the summer. So whether they'll be involved or not, like Sabani from Premier League club Bournemouth, that remains again to be seen. So yeah, I think we just build into the game, Kate. I think originally, the first 15-20 minutes, Spurs fans will be like, what's this? Backs against the wall. But I think over time, PSG will come frustrated. Hopefully we can grow into the game. This is the more positive side here, but I'm hoping we can get through that kind of first phase.
You've got to remember, Kate, that Villa put goals past them. Chelsea put goals past them. So why can't we put goals past them? On a streak of scoring.
Someone's saying, anytime I see Kate, I'm confident we won't get battered. Bless you. I'm normally the one that pumps people down by saying I think we're going to lose. But, I'm trying tonight to get out the bad juju and get good vibes only. But look, with you saying, Jimbo, you fancy Spence to be crossing the ball in. Who's the key men for tonight then for us? Is it Spence? Is it Porro? Are they the two, Kudus? Who do you think is going to be key for us?
The key men is all 11 of them, Kate. They've got to gel together, and they've got to put in a performance. All of them have got to put in a performance. We're playing the best team in the world at the minute, right? If we win tonight, the European champions have beat the top tier European champions. So I consider us the number one European champions. If we beat them. But look, they've all got to put a shift in. They've all got to play well. I mean, it's not. Kudus is going to be a massive player for us tonight, and Paulinho. Both of them are going to be really, really important. But they've all got to stand up and be counted if they want to win this game.
I'm trying to get the team news up on the screen, but it's not through yet. But the team news for PSG is Chevalier, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho, Mendes, Zaire Emery, Vitinha, Doué, Barcola, Dembele, and Kvaratskhelia. Yeah. That is terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. When I watch that, I look at those players and I think, right, we should try and have 2 on Doué. We should try and have 2 on Dembele. We should try and have 2 on Kvaratskhelia, however you say his name. And then I think that there's not enough players on the pitch. Harry, am I overreacting, or is that a terrifying lineup?
No, you're not overreacting.
Harry, 1 second. There's someone in France doing a pump up reading out our team saying that's terrifying.
I don't think they're listening, though, but you may be right.
Quite possibly. No, you're absolutely fine. I just think that it's, scary, as you say, is the right word for that. I mean, PSG, the depth is just like another level, and in particular in attacking positions. I mean, it just makes our attack look, non-talking about worthy, if you like. It's very good from PSG, and I just think that just listening to the way PSG has been speaking, so I spoke to a couple and listening to manager Enrique, they're very like, oh, okay, we're gonna probably struggle in this game, we're not in a fit state, but look at that team, they could be half fit and they're going to still cause you a problem. So we've got to be careful. I mean, we're not going to rock up in PSG, they're not going to be on the floor, not on the beach completely, they're just maybe not quite in as good physical state. But at the same time, a quality opposition, they might not need as much working, training, as much fit games because they're ready, they're used to playing with each other. Whereas we talk about a Tottenham team with a completely new manager who needs those training sessions, who needs those bonding games almost. But no, to answer your question in hindsight, to shorten it, that PSG attack is very scary. Our defence has got a job on its hands.
Ellie, for me, that I can sometimes say his name and I can't. Kvaratskhelia. That's how I'm going to say it.
I love
for
that
me.
player.
He's one of the top 3 players in the world at the minute. I think he's incredible. I mean, how do we keep this guy quiet?
You can't keep him quiet because he runs forever. He's such a team player as well. But what we can do is try and nullify him a little bit more than other teams have done, because he has the freedom of the pitch and he picks up pockets of space. He's a very, very clever player, and I just feel that we've got to watch him, but there's so many others that we've got to watch as well, Kate, right? So we've got to be on our guard. But the good thing is they've got a new goalie, right? So he's got to prove himself as well, and he's got a different defence in front of him than he's used to. So we've got to play on that as well. And I heard Martin O'Neill said that he doesn't rate Marquinhos. He thinks he's a bit of a weaker link in their defence. So we can play on that as well. Because Richie, he'll give some shithousery out today. He definitely will.
Yeah.
He won't be like playing shy, just put it that way. Because he'll want another European medal as well, right? So I just think we've got to be careful with their front three in particular, but their midfield is strong as well. Don't get me wrong, their midfield is strong, but their front three, if they're clicking tonight, we've got to be on our guard big time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Jim, we all know there's no extra time tonight. It's basically, if we manage to get a draw, it goes straight to penalties. Do you think Frank's had them practicing pens today?
Yeah, 100%.
Yesterday?
Yeah, 100%. He would have done 100%. But I think
I was going to say, now Son's gone and Madders is injured. I've no idea who would even take our penalties. I literally have no clue who's going to be our penalty taker next year. Is it going to be Solanke?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Probably. It depends who comes in as well. So who comes in by the time the season starts. But anyway, look, I think we'll beat them in normal time. I'm confident.
We could get Chloe Kelly in.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad in a way there's not extra time, but yeah, we've got Tell. I mean, Tell's on the bench. Are you one of these people, Harry, that's very disappointed with the signing of Tell and thinks he's absolutely rubbish? Or are you of the mindset, this guy's got potential, we've just got to be patient?
Neither. To be totally honest, you're going to absolutely sit in the middle. You know, I'm in a way happy we signed him because I'm all for, give players an opportunity. I looked at him when there isn't a lot to judge him on, really. Coming in January, coming in a really tough situation. Let's put the Europa League aside. The club was in points, in turmoil, points in that season, and to come in, and I think it was very difficult for him, just thrown in the deep end. He was doing a lot of the media stuff, and the leadership team at that time went missing, weren't interested in talking. And so we didn't see a lot from him at all. But I was like, why don't we sign him? Why don't we take a chance? So yes, in a way, to answer your question, I'm happy we signed him. I hope that he will come good. I haven't seen enough to sit here and go, he's definitely going to come good. There's a player in here. I'd be lying to you as well if I said that we've seen enough from him in pre-season. We simply haven't. So, I haven't seen a lot from him. I'm not going to throw my toys at the pram and say this is a bad signing or he shouldn't be in the team because we haven't seen him. And I'd call Spurs fans to be patient, because all the best players that have, played for us have all taken time, and not many, if any, have hit the ground running straight away. So give Tell time, give him time to gel in a Frank system. Same with players like Odobert, whoever it may be. There's just no need to relax. Romero said it today in his statement on social media. He said it in the interview with the club. There's going to be ups and downs that he called it, highs and lows, but bear with us, be patient. We can't be throwing our toys at the pram about the signing of Tell. Give him time. He's young. Others speak very highly of him. We're yet to see it, but I'm not going to sit here and go, he's not going to work out. So I want him to work, so hopefully we get some minutes this season. I think he's behind, though, if I'm honest, the likes of Odobert and players like that, and whoever comes in, if they do, at left wing. So I think he may struggle for game time, but that's the beauty of being in, 5 competitions, including the Super Cup.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I always feel like there is a scapegoat at the club, usually every year. And I think Johnson has copped it quite a lot because even though he scored a lot of goals for us last year, it gets criticised anyway for being a tapping merchant. I kind of feel like Tell's going to be that guy this year, really. I don't know what your thoughts are on Tell. He hasn't hit the ground running per se, but it is early days.
Yeah. Some of it's unfair, some of it's spot on, because what we've seen so far, it's not been very good. And I don't know, I want to give him time, and I want to see a player there. The one thing he's a very hard-working player. He'll give his all, he doesn't shy away from trying hard, right? But we've got to get him out of that try hard into being that extra bit. He's got to find his inner. He's got to find his inner Gareth Bale. That's what I say, right? Because he's got the build, he's got the physique. he's got a good touch most of the time, right? So we've got something to work on then. Let's see what Frank does with him. Because, we've seen Frank turn not average players, but not brilliant players into really brilliant players like Mbomo, Vissa. There's so many times where we've seen Frank work with players. Even Damsgaard, he's fantastic for Brentford. So I'm hoping that he does work with him and he gives him a few more chances to get his confidence up. Because football is about confidence. You see, when he was through at Bayern, right, and he done that step over, tried to be a bit too clever. If he put that away, we see a different player the next game. But he has to be given opportunities so that he can develop. But we'll see. We'll see how the season pans out, what Frank's going to do to him.
Well said.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think it's the same with Solanke. I know a lot of people don't rate Solanke. I think we're going to see a better Solanke this season, particularly if we bring in someone on like a Savinho as well on the other side. I think the service will be much better for Solanke. But Jimbo, Vicario, a lot of people criticise this guy still. We've seen people in the pump up before say Kinski should start over Vicario. Do you think he's another one that gets a bit of a hard time?
Yeah, I think Eddie was spot on and Harry spot on about Tell. And I think Vicario's working hard on his catching. I've been watching him in the training on Spurs play and with his feet as well. They're working with that. So, no, Vicario's the number one keeper. I mean, I think we all know that. He's not as good as with his feet, but he can get there. And I thought he'd done really well in pre-season with his catching on corners. No, he just needs to work with Frank, and get everything right. And Frank could do that. He'll assess them and he'll get it right with all of them. He'll work with all of them. And I think Tell's going to, at the end of the season, people will be speaking about Tell in a different light at the end of this season. I'm confident of that.
I hope so. I do hope so. I mean, someone's put, a couple of people have said they think it's unfair that Johnson hasn't had a start tonight, Harry. I mean, for me, I've not been impressed with him in pre-season particularly. And I'm not his biggest fan, although I do try and defend him just because I don't like people laying it on to a young player like that. But he does seem to know where the back of the net is. Do you think maybe there was an argument to start him tonight?
Of course there is. And I think Johnson's a player that's massively, firstly, scapegoated by the fan base. And this is one that does get under the skin. It does really annoy me because as far as I'm concerned, and tell me if I'm being stupid, but I don't care how Johnson scores the goals. If you score goals, it wins you football matches. If you get assists, it wins you football matches. I couldn't care less if Johnson scored a 40-yard screamer or was there to come off his backside from 2 yards out. It's a goal. It doesn't matter if it's fancy or not. It's like people use that argument with Son. Oh, well, he doesn't score fancy goals anymore. You're right to say Son's in decline, and he's been a fantastic servant. So firstly, give more respect to Son. But also, it doesn't matter how he scored goals. It's exactly the same situation with Johnson. So I think he'd be a completely different player. Having said that, I'm Thomas Frank. I don't think he'll get those opportunities as much for the back post kind of tap in. He'll be expected to take on his man more 1v1, which does suit Mohamed Kudus more. So the way I see it, Kudus is the starting right winger, hands on at the moment, rightly or wrongly. And I think Johnson will have to work his way and fight for minutes. But also, I find weird with fans is that they have this idea that they have this set in stone 11. We're juggling, let's forget the Super Cup, 4 competitions here. There isn't going to be, your Kudus starts, 95% of the games. We're not looking at anything like that. It often be, if anything, just because Kudus starts at right wing doesn't mean Johnson's never going to play for Tottenham again. That's the extreme you're getting. He's a very valuable player. Frank should and will know that. I don't think he's jump to conclusions and go, oh, he should be starting tonight, or it's unacceptable he's not starting tonight. But at the same time, I agree with the likes of Ellie. Johnson needs more respect to his name, and he's a very key player. And I just feel like it's not appreciated. And a lot of people go, "Oh, it's just the emotion." It's one moment in that final in Bilbao. It's not. His goals got us there in the first place, and his goals are the reason we didn't go down. Not being funny as well. So he's a very key player, and I hope he'll get more respect this season. It's a big role for him, though. He'll be expected to do a lot more than just finish chances.
Yeah.
Harry, you don't remember Gary Lineker?
No.
Yeah. you know what Gary Lineker done? He lived, right, and built a fantastic career on tapping goals in the net for England and for Tottenham. And we won cups because of Gary Lineker. And I can't ever remember him scoring from outside the box. He was just in the right place at the back time. All the time. He just was at the back post, or, you know, when a cross come in, he was on the end of it. And he made a fantastic living out of it. And he was a legend for us and for England.
Exactly. No, thank you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how the goals go in, as long as they go in. But I've missed 2 super chats. Sorry. Moondog coming in with another saying, "Have you got room in your other hand, Jim, for the Super Cup?" But he's got no hands left.
If we win the Super Cup, right, the trophy will go there. Up there.
Oh my God, you're not getting one for the Hong Kong Cup at all, are you?
No, Super Cup I will.
Okay.
Like that.
Big up to Malware as well. He says Romero will turn Dembele into Barca Dembele tonight. Look, we will see. Someone said that the internet is bad. It seems away at my end. It's for everybody, so I don't know what's going on there. Ellie, are you surprised? I mean, according to Sky, we're playing at 4-3-3.
Yeah.
That's according to Sky Sport. And Romero in tonight, or do you think it's a good move?
No, I think it's a good move, right? Because I really do rate Danso. I love him. I think he's an old school blood and thunder defender, gets his body in the way. He doesn't do any frills or spills. He just keeps it simple. He knows how to bring the ball out as well, because people don't see that. I've seen him quite often bring the ball out, and he's done very, very well with bringing it out. So I think it's good, because we need to be solid tonight, right? And then pick them off. Yeah, do this counter-attacking football, exactly like we did against Man City. It's a shame we haven't got Kulu and Madders, but we've got to play with our pack of cards now. And you know what? Frankie's brilliant at shuffling his pack and keeping everybody interested and fresh, and not thinking that they're out of the ton. He's got to do the business, yeah? So it's like any other player. It's nothing different, right? So if he gets his chances, he's got to take them, all right? Because we're used to him scoring those, even if it comes off his arse, if it comes off his arm, it doesn't matter, at the top of the arm, obviously, not on the hand. But I just want to see a really good, solid performance, and we're going to counter-attack rather than take too many risks. Because I think if we take too many risks, they're going to pick us off. Because their midfield and their attack, they're like up there with they're the best. You can't even say any other team is near them. All right, Chelsea beat them, but that's because they were not fit to play match football. So yeah, Chelsea got lucky that they weren't fit to play, right? Yeah. And they picked them off. But we haven't got what Chelsea have got. We've got to play with what we've got. So if Solanke gets on, I'd like to see him get on for the last half an hour. And then hopefully we're in the lead by then, right? And then they press us and then we can pick them off.
Yeah, I think there's an issue with StreamYard. I'm watching it on YouTube. I can see it's a little bit jumpy, but to us, it all sounds perfect. So I'm not quite sure what's going on. It's the gremlins. I don't know if it's all of us that have got a really bad sound. I know that I don't know. I apologise if it is, but I can assure you it must be StreamYard or YouTube.
When I'm Jim, talking, I'll mute myself to see if that improves.
I don't know what it is, but this happened before on another channel, and it was StreamYard, so it could be that. But Jimbo, Polinia, this guy, we all know he can be a midfield monster, but he's going to take some time to bed into the squad, to get back to match fitness. I mean, do you see him making any sort of impact tonight? How do you feel about Polinia?
He will make an impact, Kate, and the more he trains with his teammates, the better. Yeah, he's a fantastic player, and I think we're lucky to have him. And he will definitely make a difference. He'll give the defence some confidence as well, because He'll sweep up a lot, Kate, and stop the ball coming through a lot. It'll make it easier for them. I think he's going to be important the whole season.
The thing is, as well, if we're relying on Porro to run down the wings, we need somebody to sort of step in and cover Hellman as well. This is on behalf of Ben and Sim. Thank you for everyone for your super chats. He says Frank's record against Chelsea is great. Chelsea beat PSG, therefore we will beat PSG. Come on, you Spurs. Let's hope that is right. Yeah, you're right. I think it's a StreamYard issue as well. Yeah, it's stuttering a lot. Apologies, guys. It's not us. It's the stupid StreamYard, which they charge an absolute fortune for, and it's still not great. Harry, is there any argument that Richarlison might do something tonight? Any chance?
I'd love to say yes, but I don't know. I don't have the confidence that I once did. I love Richie and I love his passion, the fight for the badge. But if I'm being totally honest with you, I'm not sure too much what he has to offer on the pitch apart from that fight. And I think, don't get me wrong, it's a bigger part that people make out. That kind of, to dare us to do, he really represents the club's kind of motto. And I always value that. And I love players like that. But he's always going to be, in my opinion, hot and cold. He's always going to be injured. That's just the way I view it. Some players are unfortunate in their career. So I think it's a situation where we have to look to the market and go, what offers are there? I think the biggest problem will be getting Richarlison to leave the club. I don't think he'll want to leave. Why would you at Tottenham? Nice, kind of surrounding. And he wants to see, for Richarlison, it all depends on his aim. He wants to play in the World Cup, wants to be Brazil's number 9. That's everything you hear from multiple different sources. That is his priority. And at Tottenham, he has the profile to do that. So he won't probably accept going to Saudi, which is a shame, because obviously we could get more to Saudi. Having said that, it'd be good if the players have more or not go to Saudi. But it's a whole completely other saga. But Richarlison, for me, is a situation where we probably have to go, look, we can do better. And if we want to achieve Levy's goal, I can't say that laughing, of winning the Premier League and Champions League, we have to act on it. We can't say it and not do anything. And acting on it would be, thank you, Richie, for your service. Goodbye. Let's bring him better. And it's just ironic, isn't it, that Tottenham on in the conversation for players like Benjamin Sesko, WeAreTottenhamTV. It's changed a little bit this week. So, I'm not going to press ahead on this point with Eze and Savinha. This is really positive news. I believe it when it's done, but we're not often in a conversation with these big players, and we were sold the dream we were if we move to the new stadium. So hopefully, we see the action on the pitch. But to answer your question, Richarlison, I don't think he has too much.
Yes, that also, $1 million question. How do you get a player to leave a club if they don't want to leave the club? And someone put in here last week, we're Tottenham Hotspur. They get treated like kings. They've got beautiful facilities, so they don't want to leave. And that's the thing, isn't it, Ellie? How do you get them out?
I get that. But do you know what? If he doesn't get much of a look in this season, so far he has, right? So I think Frank likes him. But if he suddenly goes from hero to zero and he doesn't get a look in, I think he might push for a move. But the thing is with Richie, right, he adds something to the team. He's a hard worker, we know that. He plays for the badge, we know that, right? But what else does he offer? He hasn't offered goals consistently, right? And throughout his career, he's actually got a better record than Solanke, would you believe? Because I've done it the other days. He scores every 3.79 games. But for Spurs, it hasn't been that good. All right. So we need him to step up. Right. He's got the play to score goals. He seems to panic. Right. When I saw him for Everton and Watford, he was quite clinical in front of goal. Right. So he's probably lost a bit of confidence, and with the injuries as well that he's had. Right, I'm not making excuses for him because he needs to do better. That's one thing for sure.
Yep, you're right, Ellie. You're absolutely right. Jimbo, are you going to defend Richarlison before we move on to the scores? I mean, I know you quite like him.
I'm not going to slag him down because he's one of our players. I don't slag our players down. I get behind him. Look, he's not. We know he can score. He scored some important goals for us. But look, I think Eddie's right. He's short of confidence, and maybe if he got 2 or 3 goals, quick succession that maybe would be better. But I think he does need to be sold, Kate. We need to, if we're going to challenge, which is not the answer, is he?
No.
If we're going to start challenging for stuff. So I think he does get to move, have to move on, and get someone of a higher caliber in. But all the time he's here, I won't slag him. I'll get behind him.
Yeah. Hamdan, I hope you're right. Says I think PSG are going to have a hard time breaking us down. Let's hope so. Right, now is the time. Now is the time. Cometh the moment when we have to predict what the score will be and who is going to score for Spurs. I've already got a few. Jewel King says 3-0 to Spurs. Lone Wolf says 2-1 to Spurs. Nathan Newman says 4-1 loss. I'm going to give my prediction first and get it out of the way. And I'm going to give 2 predictions, my heart and my head. And my head is saying 5-1 PSG. It's been saying it all week. But my heart is saying 2-1 Spurs. So let's hope that the heart is right, because the head is actually a little bit scary. 6-1. Mr. Pete Sims, I don't know which way that's going. 1-0 Spurs. 1-0 Conte ball is so back. 2-1 Spurs. Sam Schofield says, has to be the mid-block of death, 2-2 and lose on pens. 10-0 Spurs, says his heart. We don't care about your head, Kate. Okay, so the heart says 2-1 Spurs. Ellie, what do you, for that 2-1 Spurs, I'm going to go Kudus and Saab to score.
Right, but, I reckon this is what my heart says. It's going to be 1-1. It's going to go to penalties. And Romero's going to get our winner. Come on, Romero. Do it for boys. Come on. And you know what? I hope my head is saying we're going to lose, like you, Kate. But my heart is saying 1-1 and we're going to win on pens. Come on,
who's going to score that 1 goal for Spurs?
Johnson. Ole, ole, ole.
Johnson again.
He's coming on and he's scoring. He's going to get the equaliser.
Let's hope so. A lot of people think it's going to go to penalties. 1-0 with Johnson again. Ole, ole. Tottenham is ready to face anyone that comes in its way, but the one hindrance is fear and not believing in themselves. Star players this team has. That sounded a bit like Yoda. Star players this team has. 3-2 Thriller Spurs win. 2-1 to Spurs. 18 PSG shots to Tottenham's 2. Oh, God. 2-1 Spurs, 1-0 PSG, 4-3 Spurs on penalties. Oh, my goodness. I don't think I can cope with penalties at all. Harry, what's your thought on what the score is going to be and who's going to score the goals? You can give a head and heart if you want to.
No, I'll tell you what, I'll stick with it. I was going to give a head and heart, but I'm changing my mind. I'm feeling confident after seeing the team selection. No one likes to play defensive football, right? Well, you shouldn't like to, but sometimes you've got to recognise the team you're playing is better than you. You've got to be careful in the way you go about things. And also, at the same time, also believe in your own abilities. I believe you can do both in terms of your abilities going forward and exploiting those transitions, critically important in this game. I'm going to go with 1-1 and Spurs to win via penalty, so very similar to Ellie. I'm going, or what we're going, something like a 4-3 or a 5-4 on penalties, and I think Sarr for the winning goal, who's been a shining light of pre-season.
Yeah, I think he's going to bag a goal tonight, to be fair. And Jimbo, what are you going to say? Need we ask?
Yeah, I agree with Harry that sometimes you've got to realise when a team's better than you. So I hope that Paris Saint-Germain realise that we are better than them and we are going to kick their arse. And it's going to be a 3-0 to the European champions because we are the mighty Spurs.
3-0. Who's scoring those 3 goals, Jimbo?
Well, I think that I think Kudos will get one tonight. I think Richie will get a header. And let's have a Porro screamer.
That'd be nice. Yeah. Look, Billy, this is a great philosophy. I think we're just privileged to be playing PSG in a Super Cup. All I will say is if we don't win, we need to not lose our minds. I mean, the meltdown, the hate on Frank after we lost to Bayern Munich was just craziness. This guy's going to need time. Jimbo's always smoking or drinking or something when he gives his scores. I have no idea where they come from. Yeah, I know. I live with it. I just switch off most of the time.
Well, I'm a Spurs supporter. I get behind my team. I don't care who we're playing. We can smash anyone. We are the mighty Spurs.
The game is on TNT Sports. And yeah, let's hope. Look, it might be delusional, it might be crazy, but let's hope for a Spurs win because it would be bloody amazing. Harry Scarf, excellent to have you on again, as always. What's going on over at, I always call it Scarfy Talk Spurs, but I know it's Harry Scarf 2022. I don't know what to call it anymore.
No, it's fine. Firstly, thank you for having me. So to clear up the confusion, it's because I changed it and rebranded it. So the channel's under my name, Harry Scarf, but it just has a Tottenham podcast included within it called the Scarfy Spurs podcast. It's also available multi-platform if you want to avoid that confusion. Firstly, thank you very much for having me. I really enjoyed this. A pleasure to share the stage with all of you. So thank you. I always love coming on here, and big up to the chat who always make the show special. But you can follow me at Harry Scarf 22 across all socials. I'm a football content creator, a YouTuber and football writer, so produce a lot of football content, England, Premier League and Tottenham. Also got my YouTube channel there, so if you can subscribe, that'd mean a lot. Harry Scarf, but check all these guys out. I'm also hosting Chris Cowlin's podcast in his absence tonight, the Spurs Chat podcast at 10 p.m. Really looking forward to that. It's quite a big opportunity. I am a proud regular there, do lots of videos and shorts, but it's the first time hosting, so join me after the game. Looking forward to it. Hopefully discussing the Tottenham win, and I love Jimbo's positivity. But big up chat, and thank you to the panel for having me.
You're welcome. Make sure everyone goes over and checks out Harry. Amazing that you're hosting the podcast tonight. I think Ricky Norwood's on as well. He's always a good laugh. He's equally as positive as Jimbo. Chris keeps saying he's going to have Jimbo and Ricky on at the same time and have a positivity off to see who wins. But Jimbo, everyone's saying that you must be on something.
Spurs train. I support my club. I don't care who we play. I think we can beat them.
There we go. Ellie, anything coming up streaming wise for yourself?
Just whoever invites me on, I'll appreciate it. Because I'm always available for anybody who wants me on. I like going on Hotspur Hood, and Sabba's show is really good as well. I've been on Harry's show too as well, and I just love talking Tottenham because, like Jimbo, they're in my heart. Like Harry, they're in your heart too. Like yourself, Kate. We all love our club, right? We all want us to do well. But I must congratulate Harry because what a great young entrepreneur on YouTube, and you're such a brilliant presenter as well, and you deserve everything that's coming to you, Harry, because you're a good lad and you love Spurs. That's the main thing.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. Keep up amazing work yourself.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Indeed. And us, we are back tomorrow at 12:30. You can find me and Jimbo. I'm obviously the sensible one. Over at Kate and Jimbo every weekday at 12:30. So do come over and join us. We've actually meant to be doing regular videos for Chris Cowlin, and we've forgotten. But we're going to do one for the PSG game because we've been naughty and forgotten. But I did see that he's on holiday, so he might not have noticed. But look, thank you very much to everyone who's watched. Thank you to everyone who's liked. Stay where you are. In about 15 minutes' time, there will be a watch-along live on We Are Tottenham TV. This will take you there, so you can smash the like there and go and grab a cup of tea or a beer or whatever you want. Enjoy the match wherever you are in the world. We've got people from America here. We've got someone here from Ghana. Just enjoy the match, and let's hope we win. Jimbo, I'm going to let you finish the show because, only you can.
Enjoy the win because we are going to be the European champions of champions tonight, and we are the mighty Spurs. And my dog agrees with me. Look, we are the mighty Spurs. We are the mighty Spurs, and we will kick their ass, and we will finish in the top 4 and shut everyone up.
Love it.
There you go. You heard it here first. Come on, you Spurs.